is Jason Mohammed in that famous Cardiff City shirt. He'll be the one to take the free kick, stands over the ball, 25 yards out. Bellamy to his right, curls it. Oh my word, what a finish! A beauty from Mohammed. Keeper absolutely no chance.
So here we go at Craven Cottage, a cold and frosty New Year's Day, and it is Fulham who get us underway. And Hamill picks up the ball and shoots! What a goal! Past the Mansfield Town keeper Jason Trinder and into the top corner with only 7 seconds on the clock. Trinder was still waving to the fans. That has to be a record. Fulham lead 1-0.
Cardiff City on the attack down the right-hand side here in Indian Park, heading towards the Grange end. Talisman Phil Stant has the ball, looking for Robbie James, passes it back, finds Robbie James. Now Robbie James is looking for somebody. He crosses in, he finds somebody. It's Andy Gorman, bullet header, back of the net. Andy Gorman scores for Cardiff City in front of the Grange end, and they're bouncing around like Zebedee.
Hello, welcome once again to Abitablue Euro Trash, the biggest and the best Euro 2020 podcast with me, Jason Trinder.
And me, Andy Gorman.
And Jason Mohammed, who will be joining us at some point, but unfortunately he's still nursing his family at home, so all the best, Jason. We'll look forward to seeing you again soon, back on the podcast later on this week. But today...
I can't believe it.
We've got a special bonus edition of Abitablue for you, the lucky listener today. Because we've only got bagged ourselves a global superstar. And I can't believe I'm sat here about to do this, and I really can't.
I can't either.
But I'm going to do an introduction to this person, which is something I've always dreamed of doing.
Okay.
Right, this is my big dream. Okay, so here it goes. Right. Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the podcast wearing his white Ralph Lauren shirts with an immaculate professional record of 46 wins, 46 fights, 46 wins, 32 by knockouts, no defeats. He is the longest reigning super middleweight world champion in boxing history, inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Wales and the Italian dragon, it's JOE CALZAGHE!
Hey,
Impressive.
That was impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Michael Buffer, better watch out, mate.
Exactly.
Better watch out.
How much money does Michael Buffer get for every time he does that? Is it? You said it's about $1 million or something, wasn't it?
It's a lot.
It's
a lot. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's trademark, so anybody uses that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got much to worry about, is he?
No.
I did cock it up halfway through.
You know what?
That's right.
46 fights, 46 wins. Thank you, guys. Good to have me on.
Joe, absolute legend.
How are you, Joe? Anyway.
I'm good. I'm good. Obviously, I'm enjoying the Euros. It's obviously a pity, Wales went out to Denmark. But, obviously, as a young kid, I grew up, obviously, Italian football fan. As my dad, I always loved the football. And it's always great memories watching it as a kid. And obviously, be the Juve fan from the age of 9, 10 when we had Paolo Rossi and Bettiga. Wow. I actually still remember them players. And after a frustrating few years with Italian football, especially with not qualifying for the World Cup in 2018. It's good to see, the Azzuri playing some good football. And also my boys, they love the Italian football. Yeah. So it's, my dad's not here to enjoy it. He's looking down and I'm sure he'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And what's going on. But yeah, it's been a great tournament, isn't it?
It has indeed.
It's been
exactly.
Fantastic. And you know what? We talked about it earlier on in one of the earlier podcasts about our favourite Euro kits, wasn't it?
Yep.
And one of them was the Italian kit with the Paolo Rossi era, the Diodora.
The Diodora.
Remember?
Oh, I used to love that one,
Fantastic. Everything, the tracksuits, the kit, the boots, everything.
I love the 94 kit as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate, the 94 kit.
Yeah.
I used to love that one as well.
I think everyone used to have an Italy kit. I used to have an Italy kit.
Definitely.
And I was a goalkeeper, so I was like Dino Zoff, Walter Zenga, all those players, just like idols to me.
I'm just going to warn you here, Joe, that Jason does have, in the past podcasts, just to go on about goalkeepers a lot. So,
well, do you see, the funny thing is as well, and Joe will back me up here, and again, one of the best players in the tournament is the Italian goalkeeper, Donnarumma.
I tell you
absolutely
what,
phenomenal.
He is doing really well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great goalkeeper. You know, he did some great stops against Belgium in the last round. And I think he's 21, 22, just like with Paris Saint-Germain. So I think Juve, my team, were thinking of signing him, but didn't. But yeah, he's, as you know, always need a great goalkeeper. Yeah. And, so far he's been really good.
Did I see that Locatelli's Juve bound?
Yeah, I hope so. You know, I think he's a great player. I heard Arsenal were bidding for him, but I think Juve at the minute,
you don't want
to with Allegri coming back. Yeah,
You don't want to go.
Well, the thing is, as well, Joe, he's going to go to Juve because of Champions League football as well, isn't he? You know, where Arsenal aren't there. So you wouldn't blame him, would you? So.
I think he's a Juve fan, hopefully. So, yeah, Locatelli. And like I said, it's nice to see, Barella is also Sardinian, my father. So he's from Sardinia. Barella. So.
We talked about this right at the beginning of this tournament. And Andy said that he wasn't... a lot of the Italian players, they weren't familiar names, but now as the tournament's gone on, you've got these names are coming out left, right and centre: Jorginho, Barella, Insigne, Immobile, Chiesa, Bonucci, Locatelli, Spinazzola. I mean, these players have really stepped up this tournament for Italy, and I think we're seeing a different side to any Italian team that I've seen for a while, Joe, because they're getting bodies behind the ball, they're defending deeply, and they celebrate defending as well as if they've scored a goal. And I've never seen that before from an Italian side.
Yeah, I know. The friendship they've got and the closeness, and being an Italian football fan, I've always been over their defence, but the way they attack and press, if anything, like the Spanish used to do, so they attack in groups, and the speed. The speed in which they attack and the skills and the passing has been fantastic. And the only thing I'm really gutted about, to be honest, in the Belgium loss was obviously the loss of Spinazzola. I think has been personally one of the best players of the tournament. That's so that's going to be a big loss. I hope it's not really going to affect us against the Spanish tomorrow.
You could actually see how upset he was on the pitch while leaving the pitch, actually. And it just shows what it means to these players at this very moment in time. It's it's sad to see any player go off with an injury, but when you see the passion that came from behind that as he was going off, that's something that you don't see that from a. Yeah. It's not the norm, is it? But fair play.
Yeah.
No, and I think Jorginho as well has been a standout player for me. He's known as the Professor.
Is he?
Yeah.
Like
in
me.
Italy. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Bit more
Brazilian Italian.
Yeah.
No, I don't care, man. It's good.
Yeah. Like you said, Joe, Italy, they last won the Euros in 1968, I believe. They haven't lost in 3 years. They're unbeaten in 32 games. They've won their last 13 and only conceded twice. I mean, you've got Mancini, Vialli there as well. You've got to be... I personally picked them out as winners before the tournament started. It's getting more difficult, obviously. The teams that they're playing against now in the semi-finals and the final, hopefully, is going to be a test. But, they look unstoppable at the moment, don't they?
Yeah, they look good. And I took my boys to Wembley to watch the second round against Austria, so I was really new. Oh, yeah, so we got tickets. My boys there watching Italy play live. So I took my boys and my uncle to watch Austria. I think that was good that they had such a tough game because they cruised through their first 3 games. Then Austria, I thought it was going to go to penalties. Nobody wants to see penalties, and they managed to pull it off. Right, I think that sort of that bit of a wake up call done them well. Yeah, done really good, for the game against obviously Belgium, which they won, and obviously they've got Spain tomorrow, which is going to be a tough game. Well,
as you'll remember, because obviously we're there, the Arnautovic goal when Italy played against. Was it a goal? VAR picked it up, but we couldn't be sat here, or we could not be sat here with not having this conversation because Italy were that close just to go it out. But again, they showed that fight, that passion again to get back into the game and win it.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was it. But it was obviously because when you're in the crowd, you don't know it's VAR, right? So I was like, I thought it was a goal, and then I thought, then so I was like, we were like celebrating like we just scored that it wasn't a goal. But like, I think they show a lot of resilience in that game.
Indeed.
I think, and they do need a bit of luck. All teams do need a little bit of luck in the tournament. Do you know what I mean? And I hope this is the year. Obviously, it's going back to Wembley. Obviously, it'll be a tough game tomorrow against Spain. But I just hope they play like they have played, and I hope it's not. It will be a loss with Spinazzola, but I think maybe Emerson's going to step in. He's not going to be up to the standard of Spinazzola, so it'll be interesting to see how Mancini, how Italy play this game. I just hope they play the football they've played, which is, really, really good to see.
Yeah, and also against the Spanish as well, who hold pretty much every single stat record in this tournament in terms of possession and shots and goals scored and things like that. So it's going to make for a fantastic game, I think. Hopefully it's an open game. Hopefully we don't see both teams sort of cancel each other out and go to the dreaded extra time and penalties. But
no, I don't want to see that.
I've actually picked out predicted the two semi-finals would go to penalties, and I don't know whether I should say that now or not.
Oh, mate, please don't say that. No, listen, I've seen Italy lose penalty shootouts. I've seen us win against France. I remember the 1990 World Cup losing the semi-finals, Argentina on penalties. Yeah. Obviously, Roberto Baggio skying that in '94. Yeah. So it's horrible when it goes to penalties. So I'm hoping it's going to be decided.
It's not a nice way to end a game, isn't it? Especially at big tournaments like this. But if the Italians get a couple of goals, which I believe that they will, they're so good. I mean, you look at that last 15 minutes against Belgium, Joe. I think the last 15 minutes against Belgium, that ball was it. And this is, again, some people might disagree with this, but the ball was in play for about 8 minutes of that last 15 minutes, and that's because they killed the game, Italy. Yeah. They, a little bit of time wasting here, there, and everywhere, but a few shenanigans. But that's the nature of part of the game at the minute, and Italy are so good at that.
Yeah, and I think that's what's the good balance with Italy. You got the youngsters, but then you got Chiellini and Bonucci, centre backs, so experienced as well, and I think they use their experience to sort of try and kill the game, defend. And just hang on, so.
Well, they had to laugh at Immobile's little trick on the...
man, that's one thing at the minute Italy are missing. Apparently didn't have a Paolo-Rossi or like a Vialli or a Scalacci as a centre-forward. Unfortunately, Immobile makes a lot of mistakes, I think, the last few games. He needs to improve. Lucky goals can come from the midfield because we've got a great midfield. Yeah. But you've got Belotti who plays for Torino, who's not that great. So that's one area I think, we are lacking is a centre forward.
I had Immobile down for being the top goal scorer, funnily enough. I had Italy to win the tournament and Immobile top goal scorer, but he did disappoint me slightly in the last game. I just thought he held on to the ball a bit too long. He had some better options when Italy were attacking, but overall, you know what?
Well, listen, look what he did. Lying down on the floor.
I was just about to ask you
putting off the defence to make sure Barella come in and score. Then he gets something to celebrate.
Yeah, he was ducking, Joe, wasn't he? He was ducking out of the way of the shot. There you go. But again, we see that, and again, the pictures were shown across the world, and everyone saw it. But again, we'll brush over the side. But then, the second goal, Insigne's goal. Wow.
It was a beautiful goal.
Unbelievable. And again, I mentioned it in the last podcast, and the fact that he's only a dot as well. So he's got that low centre of gravity, and just the way he finished that goal was just.
It was beautiful.
It takes a lot for me to be to shut up and be, but that blew me away. That goal, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was an amazing goal, and like I said, 2-0 up. I thought the cruise in, but obviously, to give a penalty away, a soft penalty right at the end. You know what I mean? It must have been a bit of to go 2-0 up and concede. There must have been a frustration in the change room, I would have thought. But I think on that goal alone, Italy deserved, to win that match. He is a special player, so we can do the same.
Just going back to the group stages, Joe, and obviously the Wales-Italy game, that would have been an interesting one for you. Where did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched that at home. I expect a draw. I want Italy and obviously both Wales to go through. I booked tickets about 3-4 weeks before the tournament, obviously anticipating Italy or Wales would be, topping that group. So, it was nice to take the boys, the first time they watched Italy play in person. My uncle as well, my dad's brother, so he's never watched them. So it was such a treat for him to once in a lifetime, probably for him to watch the Azzuri play, it turned out to be a good night, although a nervy night that night against Austria.
Do your boys play football as well?
They're a bit like me, they love football, but their hands are much quicker than their feet.
Right, okay, yeah. So they're avid boxers as well, aren't they?
Yeah. We got the Calzaghe Academy, the boxing gym. So basically, the boys, we continue with that, Enzo's legacy. The gym is back, it's open. We, training kids. And hopefully they start training pros again soon. They really love the sport. And also, at the minute, they're teaching boxing in school as well. There's a non-contact boxing called the CALZAGHE Mini Dragons, which is doing really well. And it's all good. And looking forward to what we're going to do after the Euros, eh?
This is it. It's funny because I was speaking to the guest on the show on Thursday, Joe, is a friend of mine who's a Northern Ireland manager, Ian Barraclough. So he's on the show on Thursday, and I was speaking to him in the car on the way here to speak to you. And he's promised, because you've got Northern Ireland in November in Belfast, Italy.
Okay.
So, Joe, we'll have a chat afterwards. It's all sorted, mate. Right, I've got
brilliant.
I've got it covered for you, right?
Excellent. Nice one, mate.
We're going Belfast. And we're going to have a night out.
To it.
Full VIP.
He doesn't know all the details yet, Barraclough, but I'll tell him on Thursday.
He soon will, yeah, exactly. We'll put it right on the spot.
So what we've done, obviously, with every guest that we've had on, is just give us their sort of overall winner. Obviously, you're going to go with Italy to win the tournament. But who do you think it's going to be against, Joe? Is it going to be Denmark? Is it going to be England?
You know what? It's obviously England are playing at home, but you can't write Denmark off. I think with they played like a different. Obviously, what's happened to Christian Eriksen, and I remember '92 Euros when they won it, and they didn't qualify for the tournament. So I think Ukraine were poor the other night. I think England are improving, but I think they haven't really been tested yet. And I think Denmark are a tough side. Obviously, they played them twice in the Euro League, I think. They won one and drawn one. So that's going to be a tough game. You have to edge England and Italy as well. Obviously, I got to stick up for Italy to win it. I think Italy will win. But, that's another game that's tough because the Spanish are the Spanish, the way they keep possession and everything else. But I think Spain doesn't look like the Spain of old. I think, if you watch them win on penalties last time against Switzerland, they struggled against Croatia. They conceded a lot of goals. I just think if Italy bring their A game, they should win that. So potentially Italy-England final.
Yeah, I think you'll have too much for Spain, for sure. Definitely.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Listen, Joe, it's been fantastic you coming on. Really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Can't have you on without just touching on the boxing a little bit. We've seen Roy Jones Jr. and Floyd Mayweather are back in the ring, and there's rumours Mike Tyson might be getting back in as well. Any chance of getting the gloves back on, Joe? No?
You know what? See the money that Roy Jones and Mike Tyson made on our exhibition. You can't say no, right? So who knows? I'm 50 next March, right? So I start hit the bag again. So, hey, I've still got some skills and some speed, and I was saying I will come back for one last dance, my 50th, eh? Exhibition fight, though. I'm not fit enough to do 12 rounds. We'll do 8-2s. Let's have it.
Exclusive for Abitablue, the listener. That'll be brilliant. I mean, because you've got all these. I won't disrespect them, but like the Logan Pauls and everything.
I know. Yeah.
I won't say they're disrespecting the profession, Joe, would you? But, I mean, they're coming out giving it the big end to all these legendary fighters like Floyd and Mike and everything like that. What do you think about all that?
Well, obviously, it's what can I say? It's the power of social media. Yeah. Like when I was fighting, you have to do the talking in the ring. Yeah. Now you can be a YouTuber, which I don't know. I don't really know what a YouTuber is, but you get loads of followers on YouTube, talk a lot of rubbish,
exactly,
and get fights. But at the end of the day, one thing about Mayweather, he's a great businessman.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really care if he's making 50 million, taking that to the bank.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But if I was to come back and have an exhibition, I like something like Tyson, I'm probably the same weight as Tyson at the minute. Yeah. I left the pies, mate. But, fighting a YouTuber, that's not for me. And I think it probably does disrespect the sport a little bit. But, at the end of the day, people want to watch that. People want to pay for it, and then so be it.
Yeah. You can fight Jason for £8 if you want.
£8?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm worth more than £8.
No, it didn't mean you. He get the £8. You get the rest of it.
£8, all right.
I do it for a can of San Pellegrino.
£8 pay-per-view. £8 every pay-per-view, mate.
Joe, you've been an absolute legend, mate.
Thank you
really
very much.
appreciate you coming on, and hopefully
all the best to Italy as well.
I know you've got plans, Joe.
Thank you, man. Forza Italia.
Yes,
Thank you, guys.
I know you've got plans to do your own podcast, Joe. So good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Great chatting, and have a good day.
Thanks very much on you. Take care.
Joe Calzaghe.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, see you later, boys.
Cheers, Joe.
Cheers, Joe.
Cheers, mate.
So there it is. I mean, how good was Joe?
Unbelievable.
I mean, absolute legend.
It's really nice to see him as well, because it's he's looking really fit, doesn't he? Just
And I tell you what,
he said he was talking about he'd been eating too many pies.
Well, you heard it here first, listener. He's going to get back in the ring if the money's right.
I know. Maybe with you for £8.
With me for £8. I better get in training now. Normally it's up 1-2, down 1-2, then the other sock.
Yeah, exactly.
But so good to have Joe on as a guest. We really are privileged. So that's it for us. Special edition of A Bit of Blue. We'll be back on Thursday when we're going to be speaking to Ian Barraclough, the Northern Ireland manager, and telling him that he's got to fork out for a VIP hospitality box with us and Joe Calzaghe.
And he may well be in the studio as well.
And he may well be in the studio. That'll be good. So, listen, thanks very much for listening. Join us again on the next podcast. See you for now.
Take care, bye.